Have you ever wondered about the mysteries of the ancient world, specifically the gods worshipped by the ancient Egyptians? The land of pyramids and sphinxes, Egypt, was once home to one of the most powerful and advanced civilizations in the world. Their influence has transcended through time, leaving a legacy of architectural marvels, scientific advancements, and an array of gods that continue to captivate our imagination. The ancient Egyptians held a pantheon of gods, each with their unique characteristics and stories, deeply woven into the fabric of their society. These gods were not just figures of worship, but entities that guided their understanding of life, afterlife, and the natural world around them. They were revered, loved, feared, and held in the highest regard. Imagine a world where every sunrise was a god's awakening, every flood a god's tears, where every harvest was a divine blessing. This was the world of the ancient Egyptians. So who exactly were these gods that the ancient Egyptians held in such high regard? To understand the Egyptian gods, we need to journey back in time to the early dynastic period, around 3100 BCE. This era saw the rise of the first pharaohs and the birth of the divine beings that would shape the rest of Egyptian history. At the top of the pantheon was Anubis, the jackal-headed god of mummification and the afterlife. He was the protector of graves and the guide for souls transitioning to the afterlife. Anubis was the silent watcher, the guardian at the gates of the underworld. His role was crucial, for he ensured the deceased's heart weighed no more than the feather of Ma'at, the goddess of truth, allowing their spirit to live on in the land of the dead. Then we have Ra, the sun god, revered as the king of all gods and the bringer of light. Each morning, Ra was believed to be reborn and journey across the sky in a solar boat, bringing forth the sunrise. And each evening, he would die, plunging the world into darkness until his rebirth the next day. Ra was more than a sun god, though. He symbolized creation, rebirth, and renewal, embodying the cyclical nature of life and death. Lastly, there was Ptah, the god of craftsmen and architects. Ptah was the divine sculptor, shaping the universe through his thoughts and words. He was the patron of artisans, believed to have invented the arts and architecture. Ptah's significance lies in his connection to creation and innovation, emphasizing the Egyptians' appreciation for craftsmanship and design. These early gods, Anubis, Ra, and Ptah, were not just divine entities. They were symbols, embodying the values, beliefs, and aspirations of the ancient Egyptians. Their worship wasn't just about reverence, it was a way for the Egyptians to understand the world, their place in it, and the mysteries of life and death. These early gods laid the foundation for the complex religious beliefs of the ancient Egyptians. As we move forward to the New Kingdom around 1550 BCE, we find a shift in the Egyptian pantheon. With the dawn of the New Kingdom, new gods rose to prominence, reflecting the changing dynamics of society and power. One such deity was Amun, a god initially associated with wind and invisibility. However, his status changed dramatically during the New Kingdom. He was fused with the sun god Ra, forming the composite deity Amun-Ra. This new god became the chief deity of the pantheon, symbolizing the creative force of the universe. Amun-Ra was worshipped as the king of gods and the patron of the pharaohs. His influence was so profound that he was often referred to as king of the gods. But it wasn't just Amun-Ra who dominated the spiritual landscape of this era. The New Kingdom also saw the rise and importance of the god Osiris and his consort Isis. Osiris, the god of the afterlife, the underworld, and the dead, was revered as the merciful judge of the deceased. Isis, on the other hand, was the goddess of magic, motherhood, and fertility. Her popularity endured, and she was worshipped by the Romans and Greeks long after Egypt's decline. Amidst this rich tapestry of gods and goddesses, a controversial figure emerged: Pharaoh Akhenaten. In a dramatic departure from tradition, Akhenaten attempted to introduce monotheism, focusing worship on a single deity, Aten, the disk of the sun. This radical shift was not well received, and after Akhenaten's death, the country quickly returned to its polytheistic roots. So, the New Kingdom was a time of significant change in the divine realm of ancient Egypt. It was a period that saw the rise of powerful deities like Amun-Ra and the enduring popularity of Osiris and Isis. Yet, it was also a time when one pharaoh dared to challenge the established order, albeit briefly. The New Kingdom saw not only a shift in gods but also a shift in the religious dynamics of ancient Egypt. In the late period, we see the influence of foreign cultures and their impact on the Egyptian gods. As the borders of Egypt expanded and contracted, so too did the divine pantheon. Greek and Roman cultures in particular left a profound imprint. They didn't simply conquer and discard the existing deities, instead, they incorporated them into their own belief systems, creating hybrid figures that carried attributes of both cultures. For instance, the Egyptian goddess Isis, known for her magical prowess and protective nature, was venerated well into the Roman period. She was recognized as the ideal mother and wife, and her worship spread across the Mediterranean, reaching as far as the British Isles. This is a testament to how the Egyptian gods transcended cultural and geographical boundaries, their influence seeping into societies far beyond the Nile. Even as the ancient Egyptian civilization declined, the influence of their gods persisted. Our journey through the ancient Egyptian pantheon reveals a rich and complex religious system. We've traced the evolution of these divine beings, from the early dynastic period, where the seeds of their mythology were sown, through the New Kingdom, where their tales and influence flourished. We've explored the late period and beyond, witnessing the enduring impact of these deities, their stories interwoven with the fabric of history itself. From Ra, the sun god who sailed across the sky each day, to Osiris, the god of the underworld and judge of souls, these figures breathed life into ancient Egypt's understanding of the cosmos. The Egyptian gods were not just figments of imagination, but real entities that shaped every aspect of daily life, from birth to death and everything in between. They epitomized the ancient Egyptians' values, fears, hopes, and dreams. In understanding the Egyptian gods, we gain a glimpse into the minds of the ancient Egyptians, their culture, and their understanding of the world.